In this video, we introduce the features that were added or modified in the SEQTRAK OS version 1.2 update. You can download the new OS installer from the link in the description. The update is also available through the SEQTRAK app. With OS version 1.2, loop mode can now be used on sampler tracks. While previous versions offered one-shot playback, the sampler now allows you to set a loop point, enabling looped playback of samples. Press the sampler knob to select a sample track. In the default state, samples play only once when each slot is played. Now, let's try using the new loop mode. Press the Page button at the front of the unit and open Page 4. If there are only two pages, press and hold the Page button to open the advanced menu. Turn the third knob from the top to toggle loop mode on or off. If you forget the parameters of any particular page, refer to the parameter list in the app. You can use the LED light to check whether loop mode is on or off. When loop mode is on, the sample will loop like this while the button is pressed. You can also adjust loop length by turning the bottom knob while on page 4. The LED synchronizes with the loop length, providing a visual representation of the loop length. You can also use the app to turn loop mode on or off and set loop points. OS version 1.2 allows muting and unmuting of each slot on the sampler track. Previously, muting was only possible for an entire sampler track, but now, with OS version 1.2, each of the 7 slots can be muted or unmuted individually. The operation is very simple. Hold down the mute button and select the sampler slot you want to mute or unmute. You'll see that only the selected slot is muted or unmuted. The slot mute feature expands the creativity possibilities for track making using the sampler. The new mute mode added in OS version 1.2 lets you mute or unmute each track more quickly and smoothly, offering greater performance flexibility and convenience when using mute functionality. To use mute mode, use the All knob and the Mute button. Press the Mute button while holding the All button to enter mute mode. If the 3 LEDs next to the All knob are illuminated in yellow-green, mute mode is active. In mute mode, simply press the knob for any track to mute or unmute it. Additionally, pressing the All knob will unmute all tracks at once. Whether a track is muted can be identified by the LED lighting. A yellow-green light is added to the LEDs of muted tracks. Exit mute mode by pressing the Mute button. Try using mute mode to experiment with performances utilizing mute functionality. OS version 1.2 also allows you to set count-in recording when you want to record in real time. When count-in recording is on, pressing the record key while playback is stopped will initiate MIDI recording after a count-in. Count-in recording can be toggled on and off by pressing the Record Sample button while holding down the All knob. You can tell whether count-in recording is turned on or off by looking at the LED lights. The on-off toggle for count-in setting can also be done from the app. In OS version 1.2, it is now easier to change the octave setting when using keyboard input mode on synth and DX tracks. Select the synth or DX track, then press the All knob and the Key button to enter keyboard input mode. Previously, the octave button had to be used to change octaves. But in OS version 1.2, octaves can be changed quickly by pressing Key 1 or Key 8. You can use the LEDs to check the current octave value. Utilize this feature during performances or real-time recording in keyboard input mode. In OS version 1.2, when extending the pattern length of a track, the current pattern is now copied to the next bar. To extend the pattern length by bar, for drum tracks, press the Page button and turn the desired track knob. And for synth sampler tracks, press the bar length button and press and turn the desired track knob. The pattern before the extension is copied onto the extended bar, allowing you to enjoy track making without interruptions in sound. With OS version 1.2, when a project is loaded, the state at the time of loading is automatically saved temporarily, allowing you to easily restore that state if necessary immediately after loading the project. OS version 1.2 has introduced a quantized project playback feature. When receiving an external MIDI clock, projects are loaded in standby mode after switching projects. Playback can now be quantized to 1-bar increments. The dedicated app has also been updated alongside the OS version 1.2 update. Here are some of the new features. MIDI import and export. It is now possible to import external MIDI files and export MIDI created with SEQTRAK, allowing you to import MIDI data created in a DAW and expanding the scope of production. External MIDI trigger for Visualizer. Visualizer objects now respond to external MIDI. You can route MIDI from external sources through MIDI cable, USB, or Bluetooth, and toggle through settings on and off for each destination. External display output for Visualizer. The Visualizer can now output to an external display, making it easier to perform with visuals created in the Visualizer. There are also many UI improvements and bug fixes. Be sure to update the app along with OS version 1.2. For details, please check the download page on the website. Enjoy music production with SEQTRAK, now even more powerful with the new OS.